Well, I've been working with this design and making sure that people using the garden, no matter whether they're in a wheelchair or disability device of any sort, we're trying to make the design accessible to all. And the way we've been doing it is trying to take out the very acute angle in these garden beds, and then we've got a block that we can move around and truncate that little area. So if I zoom in here now, I'd just like to illustrate the use of the trim command in gCADPlus because I want to trim off. So I'll just remove it just to illustrate. I've put two lines in here and I'm going to trim across using the red circle. So if I say modify and trim, the first prompt says select the cutting edge and right click for the next step. So the cutting edge that we're going to use here would be a line that would be drawn from the quadrant of that circle. So we'll say draw a line first, and we'd say from a quadrant, let me move this over, we want the quadrant, that's this particular tool, and the quadrant. Can you see how even though that's a block underneath, we can drop to it easily? I've got polar on, as you might be able to see down in the status line. So we've got a line running through there. We'll repeat it and again pick that quadrant and pick it up there and across. So now we've got two lines crossing. What I'll do now is just hide. I've put the block that we're using as a guide on its own layer. So we're going to, instead of having an acute planting bed, we've got this we're going to truncate it, so we'll have a very small one. We'll get rid of all of this area here. Now I'm going to use the trim command, and I thought just as a little experiment we'll see what the artificial intelligence tool in Microsoft's Edge browser can do for us. So I'm going to swing to that now and ask Edge for information on the trim command. So I'll swing to Edge. I'll just leave it in its sort of native state. So it said to me, welcome back, what would you like to chat about? Tell me about the trim command. It searched and generated this answer for me. And it's taken all the information from our website and popped it in a nice logical way. It tells me it's used to clean up overhanging entities and so on. The details are choose trim from the modifier. On the modifier, click the trim tool if we want. The first prompt asks you for the cutting edge and so on. So having read that, let's go back to gCADPlus and we'll follow the instructions, modify and trim. The first prompt is select the cutting edge. Think of it as a guillotine. It's going to slice down. So we can pick it and hit the right mouse button. Now select the object to trim off. Well, that's the cutting edge. We want to trim this one. And you can see, I hope you can see that it's gone. And what we now need to do, we don't need to repeat the other one because that was a polyline around there. So in fact, we can now remove. Actually, no, we won't. What we now need to do is run a polyline around the new garden bed area. So we've trimmed it off because it was a single polyline. So I can't build on that one. So the simplest way to go here is to draw a new polyline. And we'll go from this end to that end there. Then we want to come down to that point there. Again, we can pick end, come across here now, and we want to go to an intersection. So intersection of that one there, and I think we can then close it. And once that's done, remove those. And we now have our garden bed area. So it's just now a matter of removing these. Probably we'll scale that symbol so that it fits the garden area. And we'll get rid of this one. And now, perhaps with a little bit of fiddling around, actually we can remove that hatching. Pick this one here and just move that in. Sorry, pick it again and move that one to the midpoint. There. Insert a vertex there. Insert another vertex. And then we can just adjust from there. Move that one to the endpoint there. Move that vertex to the midpoint there. And we will move that one to another endpoint. And we're done. Got some car wrecks in here, and copy that one. We'll redo that hatching. Let's zoom out. So now we've got a nice area. Anyone with a wheelchair or other device can easily move through there, and we just need to reapply the hatching as we've done over here. It's a hatch pattern called flagstone, but it gives us the effect we want. So I hope that helps.